Welcome to the Tactical Dad podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Cook, and I am the Tactical Dad. In today's episode, which is episode 68, we are talking home defense basics, which is the initial reason I got into buying more guns, shooting guns, learning how to shoot better, going through training, and it's one of the biggest reasons most people do buy a gun. It's one of the biggest reasons people practice shooting and become familiar with handling a firearm, whether it's a pistol, a rifle, a shotgun, whatever it is. Like the number one reason, and this has been on an incline and a rise for several years now, is for home defense. So some interesting things to know. The National Shooting Sports Foundation they collect a bunch of data, they do lots of surveys, and they are like an industry leader when it comes to looking at some facts, evidence, and data, because we should always be looking at that to help shape our decisions and direction, not just gut instinct, although that's a huge part of it. But these guys and girls, National Shooting Sports Foundation, provided lots of data, and I don't know what the percentage is now, but just over a year ago, it was 12 to 15% of people that responded to a survey they did had purchased rifle ammunition. And I can't remember the other percentage, but there's X amount of percent increase on the purchase of rifles. So that's a big indication in terms of what weapon people are starting to purchase more of. And another survey that was done, another collection of data and evidence, was that the people that responded to another survey from the same people, National Shooting Sports Foundation, had listed that the reason behind them purchasing a gun and shooting was, like, the reason behind doing it was not to do shooting recreationally, competitively, and this surprised me. It even trumped hunting. The number one reason was for home defense. So the increase in desire, popularity, and drive behind purchasing a firearm has been for home defense, and the choice of weapon that is becoming more and more prevalent is a rifle, and that's just hard facts that are backing that up. So, and that's been on the rise for a while. So I think it would be a good idea to discuss, just in short, home defense and just a few basics. Because that's what I got into this for. I got into this initially for home defense because I've got two small children, a wife, and the world's getting to be a scary place. And I'm sure the things that are going on now always have gone on, but it seems maybe just because of the push of social media and all these media outlets that we're more aware of it, or it's just happening more. I think it's probably a bit of both. So either way, I want to protect myself, I want to protect my family, I want to protect my children, I want to protect my home and my dog. So, and then secondly, I think it's cool and I want to be a competitive shooter, which if you've been following this podcast, you know that. So it would be good to know some basics in terms of home defense. So I'm going to run through just a few basics. We can talk more about them in future. I'm going to have people on the show, experts and professionals, ex-military, police, all of that, to go more in depth with this, because I'm no expert, but I can lay out at least a few important things that you should do. So number one, knowing your layout. So know the layout of your home. We would call that a garden. In England, you guys call it a yard, but your home, your front garden, your back garden, just know the layout of your surroundings, including, the location of all doors, all windows that you could get through, that open, that don't open, different potential entry points to the house, all exit and entry points, possible exit points, worst case scenario situation. Like, just know that. Then securing your home as best you can. If someone's going to break into your home, you can put everything in place, but it's likely they're going to break into the home if they want to break into the home. So, but you should still ensure that all doors, all windows, they're properly locked. And you should consider some sort of security system. So we have an alarm in our house. There's things like Ring, where someone presses the doorbell, you can see who's there. You can put these devices on all the windows and all the doors around the house, so when they open, they make a noise. If the alarm's on, the alarm goes off. It's all sorts of things you can buy. Like the evolution of technology, especially when it comes to security, is super cool. So to definitely consider that. Some sort of security feature, alarms, cameras. It's a good idea. Like, I can check the front door camera when I'm not even at the house. So if I know my wife and my children are at home, they're upstairs, and my wife's doing laundry and my kids are playing upstairs, if the front doorbell rings, I know someone's there. I can look and see who it is. So it's good idea. And then I think that I saw something on TikTok actually, or Instagram or something, about having a plan. No, my wife showed me it. My wife showed me, hey, so my wife initiated this one. She was like, hey, we should have a plan. Like, what if the alarm goes off one night and we get up? Like, what we gonna do? What's the plan? Who gets what kid? Where do we go? What are you gonna do? What am I gonna do? Where do we take the kids? Like, all of these things. So just having a plan. Because my wife showed me a video of a couple on Instagram, TikTok, or something, and the alarm went off, and then a young couple, I think they had a kid or multiple kids. And the wife was saying that the husband just got up. He was kind of in a daze, and he just, like, in his butt-ass naked, just went downstairs. Went after with I think he had a bat or something. Just went off to check what was going on. Well, that's probably not a good idea. And they didn't communicate. I didn't talk about, hey, should I go get the kids, and then should I bring them somewhere? They didn't really have a plan. So sit down with your partner and plan for an emergency. Who's going to get what kid? Who's going to do what? Who's going to stay where? Who's going to make this call? Who's going to do this? So consider a plan. And then in terms of self-defense, because you can plan all you want, at the end of the day, if someone's breaking into your house and you have an intruder, you have somebody that is a threat, you need to have some sort of skill in defending yourself. So consider, like I've done, like my wife has done, consider taking some self-defense class in terms of training to shoot, use a firearm, hand-to-hand combat, knife, skill training, like anything that you feel the most comfortable or confident trying. Some form of self-defense is necessary. And obviously, since we talk mainly about guns and accessories for guns and stuff, I'm going to say learn how to shoot a gun. And it seems that a lot of people are choosing a gun, choosing a rifle, and it's for this particular situation, if it ever happened. Final thing, always be aware of your surroundings. And I think I mentioned this right at the start. Got to try and trust your instincts if something feels off. Like, it was just the other night that I came home from the gym. My wife said, hey, can you go and check in the backyard? The dog's been out there and he was going wild. And he's still looking at the top of the hill, into like the trees and bushes. And I went out there and I looked and I couldn't see anything. I got my light, I'm shining my flashlight, and something just didn't feel off. Something just didn't feel right. Something felt off still. So I went upstairs to the safe. I made sure that I just double checked that my pistol was there, my rifle was there. I had 2 magazines loaded with ammunition for my rifle. I had 2 magazines loaded for the pistol, right there, ready to go. I went up and checked that, knowing, and then throughout the whole night, it was in the back of my mind. Just because my dog, if my dog's looking at something barking, something's there. Small, big, a threat or not a threat, he's something is there. He's not going to be wrong. So just consider those things. Know your layout, secure your home, have some sort of plan. start learning some form of self-defense and be aware of your surroundings. That's all from me today. Thanks for joining me in this podcast episode of Home Defense Some Basics. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.